We have more in this story.
Phase 1 of the Kampala Flyover road project funded by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, is 98% complete. Now, during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, the Japanese ambassador to Uganda, Sasayama Takuya, revealed that his government will soon embark on Phase 2 of the Kampala Flyover road project and the construction of Karuma Bridge.
Talked about the Kampala Flyover, which has ceased stalled. They want to look for a way of making sure that that project takes shape. We have the Karuma Bridge. The other day, members of Parliament from Northern Uganda were inquiring about the Karuma Bridge.
And we are planning to do the Phase 2. In our way is that we plan very carefully. We estimate where the things come from. So we are in the phase in that phase. And not only for the flyover Phase 2, but also of course the Karuma Bridge. It's already in the pipeline, and we want to do it as soon as possible.
Nabanja said the Kampala Flyover road project is expected to address the long-standing issue of traffic congestion in the city. She commended the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, for their unwavering support and partnership to the government of Uganda.
And this in turn will spur economic growth and development across the country. So, Your Excellency, I am glad that our two countries have started the process of technical transfer, especially in the agriculture sector, dealing with Professor Kim, the one we had the other time, from SC Planter, to help our people improve production, productivity, and profitability amidst the changing weather conditions.
The meeting was also attended by the Executive Director of the Uganda National Roads Authority, Allen Kajina. Kajina says $90 million is set to kickstart Phase 2 of the Kampala Flyover road project.
On the Kampala Flyover, Phase 1, 95% complete, actually 98% complete, so it is basically done. The Minister of Finance did write to JICA asking for us to proceed to Phase 2 because we have some money still on the loan, about $90 million, for which we could actually start on Phase 2. And we are asking that Japan kindly allow us to proceed to the procurement of Phase 2 so that we don't have a gap between Phase 1 and Phase 2.
Kajina further revealed that the Japanese will soon undertake the construction of a new bridge at Karuma.
For the new bridge will be at a higher elevation than the current one, so we should not experience the same challenges. Right now, the Karuma bridge is under some emergency repairs. And we look forward to the support, and we should soon have a new bridge, much more robust. We'll even get rid of the corners that are on that bridge which have caused accidents. It will now be a straight route.
I'm very happy if they are talking about the Karuma bridge, and if it comes to look like that of Ginger, it will be another advantage to us.
Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, funded the construction of Ginger Bridge, which is now a source of attraction in Ginger City.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has cautioned media houses operating outside the stipulated broadcasting guidelines set by government, saying government will revoke their licenses. Dr. Baryomunsi was reinstating Central Broadcasting Services operational license, which was revoked 14 years ago at Uganda Communications Commission in Golobi.
On 10th September 2009, Central Broadcasting Services, commonly known as CBS, had its operational license revoked by government on grounds of breaching minimum operating standards. Government has reinstated the license. While handing over this license, The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, advised media houses to execute their work within the minimum broadcasting standards set by government.
For the media houses to always broadcast, do your work, but within the limitations of what the policy, the guidelines, the law requires you to do. It's the same issue. What happened to CBS then is like related to what happened to Facebook. Now, when you come to operate here, whether you are local or international, you must observe the laws of the land.
Baryomunsi implored the Uganda Communications Commission to remain firm in ensuring that broadcast houses operate under government limitations.
And they would want to request UCC to be very firm in your work of regulation. Do not say, because we have a huge listenership, because the radio is established by a cultural institution, then for us we have the freedom to do whatever we want. We shall regulate you. We do this function of regulation not to kill your business, not to stifle your rights and freedoms, but to bring order and sanity in society.
The Executive Director UCC, George William Nyombi Tembo, said the Commission is organizing a workshop where all media houses will be reminded of their licensing obligations.
Elections are very, very exceptional days. So in November, Mr. Minister, we shall be inviting you, where we are calling all editors of radios to reread to them, not the right act, but remind them of their licensing obligations. Because really we don't want anything that should take us back to issues of revoking a license. There is no regulator, I should put this one very, very clearly, Mr. Minister. There's no regulator that enjoys to revoke a license.
The board members of CBS pledged to work under guidelines of UCC and the government.
We promise and commit to continue serving Ugandans professionally and diligently. This is a job at which we've gained quite a lot of experience. We are very committed, and we are also very much aware of our various mandates to the kingdom and to the Ugandans at large.
It's good you have made a commitment. You are thinking the same as ours, that what happened is regrettable, and working together, we should never allow that situation to occur again.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, government wants an additional 18.8 billion shillings if all eligible medical interns are to be deployed to health facilities. Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Andifa Kawoya, interested Parliament to take notice of the available 2,706 medical interns who need to be paid 15,600,000 shillings each per annum. Kawoya says even the available 743 senior health officers cannot manage to supervise the eligible medical interns.
The Parliament of Zimbabwe.
It is not the first time the 11th Parliament disagrees with the government position on the embattled medical interns.
If the government cannot raise enough money for all these students, which is the reason for the delay of their deployment, can't the ministry open it also freely for those who can sponsor themselves?
But the same House, which appropriates funds to various sectors, found it prudent to avail 35.6 billion in the current financial year 2024-2025 to cater for medical interns and the senior health officers.
Furthermore, this year we have received communication from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to fit within the available resources and with no anticipated supplementary.
As of August 2024, 2,706 medical interns are eligible for deployment. Due to the prevailing challenges, government resorted to deploy a random selection mode considering the surgeons and pharmacists only.
It's very important that between the schedule of enrollment to intensive period, the government should have planned for these children. Why are we doing these things? Today we wake up and tell the public that we want people to study sciences. And at the end of it all, we don't know how to help the scientists.
Minister of State for Health, General Duties Anifa Kawoya, informed Parliament that each medical intern is paid 15,600,000 per annum, including tax arrears. The available 743 senior health officers need about 11.6 billion annual payments to supervise the interns.
Considering the expenditure of 15,600,000 per intern per annum, this money can only deploy 1,500.
As government registers a deficit of about 18.8 billion to solve the question of medical interns, Minister Anifa Kawoya has asked for time for the ministry to study the concerns raised by the MPs before the matter is resolved.
Let us look for the 18 billion. Yes, we should look for it. We can get the 18 billion, then we plan better.
That of the money we need, is it only 18 billion or we need something beyond so that we can have more specialists, okay? And
on the way forward, we go back for proper gain planning, because this involves Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, where to come with the policy and regulation, and Ministry of Health.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, government has introduced the National Teachers Bill 2024 to offer a transformative change in the teaching profession. The bill will establish the National Teacher Council to oversee and regulate teachers' standards and ethics.
The long title of this bill.
Before the introduction of the bill for first reading, the Kalungu West MP Joseph Sewungu notified the House of the challenges which the teaching profession is facing after government dissolved the primary teachers training institutions. Sewungu claims that some tutors are still benefiting from the taxpayers' money.
And here we are, colleges we are closed, teachers are running out of teaching. From COVID, the number of teachers have gone out. Validation reports are showing us that many districts don't have teachers, but nothing is going on. Could we know what exactly is happening? Are you killing education for real?
This bill comes at a time when media reports have indicated a big concern by teachers applying for early retirement. Minister of State for Higher Education John Chrysostom Muyingo says the bill caters for all the concerns.
Right now, it covers management of the entire profession, and which management also entails teachers. So I'm just asking you to be patient. By the end of this exercise...
The Tuesday Parliament session was chaired by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Now, members of the Shadow Cabinet in Parliament have resolved not to participate in planned regional parliamentary settings because the expenditure involved is difficult to explain to the public. A leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, told the media at Parliament that the opposition in Parliament has not been involved and the processes have not been followed.
Parliament will start regional sittings around end of August, and the first is to take place in Gulu, northern Uganda. Mbarara in western Uganda will follow. Mbale in eastern will be next. The opposition members of Parliament say they have not been involved in the planning of the sittings. The leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, says the Parliamentary Commission and Business Committee too have not been involved. He claims that sources told him that 5 billion Ugandan shillings will be spent on each sitting and transporting MPs and Parliament staff and paying their per diem.
If you were to ask the ordinary person in Gulu that this 5 billion shillings, which is going to bring MPs and staff, what would you want it to do? Maybe they will be more interested in medicine in Gulu Regional Referral Hospital. They might be more interested in infrastructure being worked on. The same situation for Mbarara, for Mbale, and so on and so forth, as opposed to spending all of this money to transport everybody.
There is no additional cost that is going to be incurred because of the sitting in northern Uganda. What is being done is within what Parliament had planned for in the financial year.
Senyonyi says although the sittings will be in the people, they will not have chance to participate since they are required to sit in the gallery. He advises the leadership of Parliament to empower committees.
And these committees go out and work on behalf of Parliament. Why don't we empower committees? Many times committees complain they are not able to go out to the field, because that should be the work of committees, that now go to this area, interact with the people, establish the issues and concerns, bring a report to Parliament. Here we discuss it all together. Why don't we empower committees? And that's what I have always been telling the leadership of Parliament.
Members of the shadow cabinet say they will not be part of the arrangement, which does not make logical and economic sense.
So as shadow cabinet, we have elected that it is problematic for we in the opposition to be part of such an arrangement, because number one, we have not been brought on board. We are kept in the dark. Things are being done very quietly. We do not know. And then number two, this expenditure is difficult for us to explain to the public, to even the people we represent, to tell them.
For members to say, because of GLU, they are going to boycott allowances. That is not the way to go as leaders. I would personally request them to always go slow when talking about matters of their own emoluments and remuneration in Parliament.
Senyonyi says he has written to the Speaker of Parliament several times about commission meetings where he has not participated since the year started.
Sat in a meeting that made this decision, I would say, look, instead of spending 5 billion shillings per sitting, let's meet here. And then we push for the allocation of money for some of the concerns in these regions. That would have been my view. But I'm not invited for these meetings. And as I have since discovered, I am not the only one not invited to these meetings. The other day we had an engagement and the Prime Minister was also concerned.
The opposition say the 11th Parliament is being run as a small institution in an informal way, which they will not sit and watch. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwetalinji at Parliament.
Now, in Tuesday's Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA Council meeting, councillors have voiced their dissatisfaction with the City Executive Committee's show delivery of essential reports, which they say is hindering service delivery to the city's residents. Deputy Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjura, however, attributes the disorganization to the technical wing of the committee. The council sitting was marked by the dropping of key items on the order paper, including discussions on the market ordinance, updates on road maintenance by the Special Forces Command, and the public transport ordinance, all due to the lack of reports from the executive committee.
For example, including that
for council to expect the City Executive Committee to come up with a report about the resolutions stretching from 2021 up to date in a period of 1 week. Moreover, when we even have to issue a notice to the management team, was really being unrealistic, and therefore there's no way could, honestly speaking, handle the same.
Pertinent issues we hoped to get. First, we hoped the Lord Mayor would give us a report from the SFC team, because that was very pertinent on the agenda. SFC has been doing works on our roads, but we don't know how much they have done. You don't see exactly what has been done. You can't tell me out of the resolutions we have made, the implemented ones are almost 2%. So as SEC, we understand, we know the trouble they are going through because we receive our reports from SEC. If SEC comes and says, you people, the executive director hasn't given me this, then you can't call you can't impose on them. We will have to wait for the ED.
Coming from the resolution we've made as council, we are not requesting, we are directing the technical side to immediately expedite the process of having an MOU with the owner of Lufra to have that money that is collected every single day go to the coffers of KCC and the coffers of the nation, because one of our mandates as KCC leaders is to make sure that taxes are collected or fees are collected in Kampala. Now in this case, we have a very busy place that works every day, that collects over 200 million daily. Having money go to private pockets instead of going to the coffers of KCC.
To Kasese now, where it's not good news coming from there, because Rwenzori East Police are investigating a fatal accident in Nachiumbu, Sub-County, Kasese District, where 4 men died on August the 5th, 2024, when their motorcycle collided with a Fuso truck carrying cassava flour. The truck, registration number UAX 843M, loaded with cassava flour, was en route from Mushenene to Munguyu Sub-County. Take a watch.
Unfortunately, we lost 4 lives, and these 4 lives, the rider and the pedestrian and those who were on the motorcycle. It was so unfortunate. When we got the information, we rushed to the scene. Unfortunately, we couldn't save life, though we tried to take one to hospital. Unfortunately, he also succumbed to death this morning.
It is good that the district and central government came in. And when the district takes over a certain road, it widens it because it has enough funds. But our resource envelope as a sub-county was not enough. That's why we opted for that smaller bridge.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back, and you are watching News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Chobe University has instituted a special committee to review the fees structures upon realizing hardships in the management of the institute with the current tuition paid by students. The Vice-Chancellor of Chobe University, Professor Eli Katunguka, says he's not moved by the growing appetite of strike based on the proposal of the tuition hike. Let's get more in this story.
Chobe University administration has raised a red flag on the funding gap, depriving the university of meeting desired international standards. The University Council has resolved to institute a committee to review the fee structure of the university to bridge some funding gaps.
We are required to have about 63 professors, full professors. But as we talk now, Chobe University has 5. 5 battalions like this. And this has happened over the last 10 years. Among the associate professors, who are supposed to be 113, there are only 23. And this one has also happened over the last 10 years. Among the senior lecturers, who are supposed to be 206, there are only 62. Among the lecturers, who are supposed to be 312, there are 176.
The existing fee structure of Chobe University was designed in 2003 and can hardly fit in the current economic environment and the dynamic education demands.
And this is not part of the wage that is allocated by government. It's part of the money that is given to the university to run its function. Meaning, when you take off this money, the other functions suffer. And we are going to have discussions very soon about how to review the fees.
The universities are perceived to be charging the least fees dues despite having more than 100 education disciplines. Sans courses at diploma level, the university charge between 420,000 shillings and 472,000, while at degree program it ranges between 840,000 shillings and 1,080,000 shillings. Engineering courses at diploma, it ranges between 600,000 and 850,000 shillings. And at degree level, the fees range between 1,050,000 shillings and 1,470,000 shillings. The Diploma of Arts and Industrial Design, the university charge 400,000 shillings, and at degree level, fees stand between 900,000 and 1,050,000 shillings per semester. The Diploma for Special Needs and Rehabilitation, the university charge 350,000 shillings per semester. While at the degree level, the charge is between 630,000 and 910,000 shillings. The education program at diploma level at Chobe University, the charge range between 490,000 shillings and 800,000 shillings. While at bachelor's, fees stands between 420,000 shillings and 77,000 shillings per semester. With immediate effect, this academic year, the university will increase fees for the School of Management and Entrepreneurship and the School of Computing and Information Science. The move has raised voices of strikes among university students.
Other matters like teaching materials. Science programs are very expensive. So we must buy teaching materials. We must buy computers. We must buy chairs where these students sit. So all those other functions that they must be paid for from the non-wage. And when that money goes, then it means the general functions of the non-wage will reduce.
Meanwhile, Chobe University has responded to the National Council for Higher Education on the operating illegal education centers in Ibushenyi and Soroti. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Eli Katunguka, has disregarded the council accusation that the institutions are established by law.
Uganda, Chiburi here, because these centers were inherited from ITEC. These existed in 1999, 1995. And when Chobe University was established, it was given the liabilities and the assets of ITEC, of UPK, and UNISI. So we inherited these centers from that time, and they have been used to upgrade the skills of the teachers.
On the disciplinary note, Kyambogo University Council resolved to dismiss the embattled Dr. Aaron Lawrence on grounds of omissions that damaged the university name.
Because he disappeared. He did not show up for duty, despite being invited to come. And our human resources manual is clear. If you are away from duty for more than 21 days, you will be construed to have absconded from duty, and that is a gross misconduct. But because we went through the process and arrived at the conclusion, the university has finally dismissed this gentleman.
Dr. Aaron Lawrence is on remand, battling with a case of aggravated defilement. Aaron is accused of defiling a student with special needs. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now, parliamentarians and health stakeholders have urged the executive to prioritize health sector funding to achieve universal health coverage nationwide. This call was made during a follow-up meeting to implement recommendations from the Parliamentary Health Committee's conference in Maseru, Lesotho, aimed at addressing challenges in Africa's health sector.
In February 2024, NIEPACO held its 15th annual conference in Maseru, Lesotho, focusing on improving Africa's health sector. On the theme Leaving No One Behind, transforming gendered pathways to health for tuberculosis. To implement the conference's recommendations, PPD and other health stakeholders met in Kampala to address Africa's critical health challenges.
Key actions that they need to work on this year, and I think key among them was to increase domestic financing for healthcare, particularly for immunization and also for maternal and child health. A lot of work goes into that, especially at both the national and subnational level. And so that was a key pledge, as you all know, that we are going down in terms of external funding, donor funding for healthcare and for health programs.
The chairperson Health Committee of Parliament, Dr. Joseph Ruyonga, says there is need to enact laws and policies to address the existing challenges.
So important that we don't want to implement, to start implementing when we are not prepared. I think that's one of the things which are trying to look around, and the president knows, and I think he has gone through what was drafted. That's why it is for cabinet, it was brought to parliament, then it went back, but I have a feeling that time is going to come when we shall be able to implement it. Because wherever you go, they're talking about universal health coverage. There are some countries around us who are implementing it, so why not Uganda?
Members of Parliament urged the executive to prioritize the health sector, especially on budgetary planning and financing.
To come up as Ugandans, we have to accept that our health system can no longer rely only on partners. I think we have to see and look at what probably the executive is looking as its priorities vis-a-vis what is real.
By the time the community comes together and they start what they call the community health insurance, it means for them they are giving health a priority, which is very, very important. They are saving. In case anybody falls sick or gets a problem, and they can be able to pull resources. They already have resources.
Other stakeholders called for collaborative efforts to address maternal mortality deaths and teenage pregnancies.
There are still a need of a very strategic process of tapping into domestic resources. A lot of the domestic financing for healthcare is coming through government, but there are so many entities in this country that could support healthcare.
The 15th NIEPACO meeting of 2024 targets achieving universal health coverage operations. Rebecca Nyatongo, Susan Inabugude, UBC News.
Now, over 10 suspects who were arrested during the March to Parliament protest have been released on a non-cash bail of 1 million shillings each. The accused were arrested while protesting on the 23rd of July 2024 over the increasing vice of corruption in the country, especially by members of Parliament.
Those are the 16 suspects arrested by security at different parts of Kampala during the 23rd March to Parliament protest. The accused before Uganda Road Court were last week charged with a common nuisance, to which they all pleaded not guilty. They returned to court before Magistrate Sanura Nambozo. Through their legal team, they asked the court to be released on bail after presenting 2 sureties each.
That the sureties as presented for all the applicants, stroke accused persons, understand their duties. Second, Your Worship, they have the power to compel their attendance.
Prosecution objected on grounds that the accused lacked substantial sureties and they have not indicated to court their places of abode. Magistrate Sanura Nambozo overruled the prosecution's prayers and granted bail to all the accused.
The applicants, except for F4 and F14, they have not availed to this court in this application proof of their places of abode. Prayer that bail is not granted.
Our submission, Your Worship, that the applicants do have a place of abode, and this place of abode has been clearly indicated in the charge sheet, Your Worship.
Specifically stated that the sureties understood the duty of court and committed to the duty on court terms. In that regard, I find that the sureties have understood the duty and the prosecution objection is accordingly overruled. On the second prosecution objection, that the applicants did not present their letters of introduction to court to prove they have a fixed place of abode, with exception for F4 and F14, we all know that introductory letters for places of residence are personal and therefore ought to be given to an individual and not a friend, a family, or any other person for that matter. I as such agree with Counsel Paul Waswa for the defense in their submission that the applicants could not present to court these introductory letters to prove their places of abode because they were in incarceration.
Court will resume on 9th September 2024 formation of the case. George Musisi, lawyer of the applicants, wanted the Director of Public Prosecutions to withdraw the charges against all the accused on grounds of their illegalities.
As we've seen, the state has said in all the files that they are still investigating. They plea and call and request to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I hope now that they can realize that this charge was unwarranted. These people were in the excess of their rights, and we think that the ODPP should withdraw charges. That is.
Other people who attended the court, including some leaders, had this to say.
We'd like to thank the judiciary, for upholding the rule of law and granting us bail.
And even these people, by the time they came up, they are protected under Article 29, Clause 1, subsection D, that says that any Ugandan is privileged or is mandated to come out and protest peacefully.
The released suspects make a total of over 100 protesters who were arrested during the March to Parliament protest.
Ivan Juko reporting there. To Luwero now, where various NRM pressure groups and communities have cleaned up in a community exercise to maintain proper hygiene in the area as they prepare for President Yoweri Museveni's visit to Luwero district. The president is expected to visit Kalule Bombo at Excel Vocational Institute on the 10th of August.
President Yoweri Museveni will visit Kalule Bombo in Luwero district on the 10th of August 2024, where he will also commission for Yoweri Museveni storage building at Excel Vocational Institute. Various NRM pressure groups, communities, pupils have cleaned up the area in preparation for the presidential visit in Luwero. The NRM pressure groups include ONC, Yellow Checkers, PLU, NRM Youth Brigade, cleaned up Kalule town and the surroundings.
We are here to prepare our people to join them in cleaning the town, Kalule town, so that we can prepare the guests very well.
The Jesaba Bana Uganda Lebana NRM, Ujiwansi Alemekoma Warero, Tumukole Nganga Bulijo, Tiachijo Kubere Chikuru, tumuyigiriza abantu baffe nti ffe nnyini ffe tulina okuyonja ebitundu byaffe.
The exercise was led by ONC mobilizer and proprietor Excel Vacational Haji Shafiq Mwanje, who hailed the unity and togetherness among the pressure groups.
Omukulembeze w'eggwanga atwagala nnyo. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga agenda kugende tumwanirize n'amaanyi. Tumulage nti ddala Luweero tuli naawe. Tumulage nti kituufu tukyalina bye twetaaga gy'ali. Kubanga amazima waliwo ebintu byetaagisa mu Kalule ne mu Luweero.
I want also to remind you that nobody did not win Luweero. It was the disorganization which we had as the party, where, for example, Katikam South constituency, we had over 5 candidates on the same position. Now, it gave a chance to Nuhu to take over. So we believe that as he's coming, all these issues are going to be addressed.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, has advised Ugandans on mindset change on health, especially cancer, and urges people to undertake routine health checkups. She was addressing a stakeholders' engagement on child and adolescent cancer control strategy here in Kampala.
The stakeholders' engagement on child and adolescent cancer control has made an appeal to parents to make daily checkups to eliminate cancer. The engagement has been attended by the World Health Organization and Uganda Cancer Institute. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, highlighted the need for human papillomavirus HPV vaccinations.
Science is that now, even with one dose, we have found that it is actually protective. So we want really to scale up this to get to every girl that needs to be vaccinated to 100%. We are still at 30%. These vaccines are available in our facilities. So that is one strategy that we want to see how we can prevent the cancers, especially in adolescent, young, but also even at a later time. Specifically today we are talking about child and adolescent cancer prevention, but also this spills over to even to adulthood. If we are able to prevent at young age, we are able also to prevent at a later time.
Chairman Emeritus of the Health Committee, Dr. Charles Ayume, appealed to the Minister of Health to decentralize cancer institutions and encourage private sector involvement.
For health and UCI, I think it's also important that now you unpack cancer treatment, and I'm glad that we have started that journey with the regional oncology centers. The first one in Gulu has taken off, and hopefully we can get the money for West Nile, in no particular order. West Nile, Mbarara, and Mbale.
A consultant and head of pediatric oncology at Uganda Cancer Institute, Dr. Joyce Baragadde, stated that cancer control in children should be prioritized for early detection.
And the areas of focus in cancer control planning in children are slightly different, because we focus majorly on early detection, because cancer in children and adolescents is not preventable, neither can we screen for it. So cancer control planning in Uganda, which we are trying to shine a torch into, means we have to emphasize early detection.
For instance, initiatives like the DSCC is a component where, for instance, we will be able to be getting drugs at even cheaper prices, linking up with different manufacturers, reducing their cost and all that. So all those are advantages that we get by participating in global initiatives like the GSCC.
Robert Katamba and Aisha Musanya, UBC News.
Now, Water Aid Uganda, a non-governmental organization dedicated to improving access to clean water, sanitation and hygiene WASH, has launched its annual influence plan. This significant initiative aims to bolster the nation's WASH services, particularly in health facilities, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. Sudat Kaye reports.
Coffee is the lifeblood of Uganda's economy, and with this, President Museveni calls upon Uganda.
Water Aid Uganda's partnership with the Ministry of Health highlights their joint efforts in enhancing WASH services across the country. This collaboration has already borne fruit with the development of a micro-planning handbook for WASH in health facilities and contributions to the national environmental health strategies.
I also want to reiterate that the Ministry of Health is really committed to collaborate with Water Aid and develop policies and plans in this partnership. And also, what you are doing is actually in the NRM manifesto. NRM is the party in power, and it had a manifesto to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals, and part of this, you are already doing it.
One of the pressing issues addressed during the launch was the high rate of open defecation in Uganda, currently at 16%.
The contingency plan is one of that most important ingredient in a WASH resilient, a climate resilient WASH system for a country. So we need those contingency plans, those plan Bs, for those places that we can map out and know that for sure when drought comes or when there are mudslides, these places are prone. Kasese is one of them, Bududa is one of them, areas of Karamoja that face a drought are one of them, so there should be contingency plans.
Changing community behaviors towards water conservation was also highlighted, urging people to harvest rainwater instead of relying solely on wells.
Previously, we used to know, for instance, that mosquitoes usually happen during the maize, mango time, isn't it? So they would say, oh, the maize and mangoes are causing what? Malaria. But it's just because the season was just enough to make the larvae flourish. Now, all these unprecedented changes are as a result of climate change, and so the burden goes to the human beings, and especially affecting women and the children.
Water Aid Uganda stresses integrity among health workers and government officials, emphasizing that corruption in the healthcare system affects everyone.
We need to look at those gaps or where money is escaping through, I didn't want to use the word at first, but I can use it, through corruption tendencies. By doing that, we stop privilege, and therefore funds that have been allocated, even if we start from the Ministry of Health, which has WASH activities, Ministry of Water, which has WASH activities, in schools and education institutions where there are WASH activities, even if we stop on those first three.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
We'll take yet another short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our border fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nambole Stadium opened its doors once again? Fire! You are one moving in wet. You were the 12th player when Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Fire! Through our famous wins against Tubamkunda and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back. Now let's have the latest in business. MK Youth Initiative Foundation has vowed to change the mindset of youth by encouraging them to embrace agriculture as a way of addressing poverty. The initiative, led by John Patrick Okiru, made the assurance during their visit to launch growing of cashew nuts in Tororo district.
The MK Youth Initiative in Bukedi region, on the Eradicate Poverty mission, they are promoting growing of cashew nuts to address poverty in the area.
Why are we pushing this? We realize that is one of the core value that Ugandans need. And my brother Nicholas, I want to thank you to have realized that actually, beside other activities that you're doing in Zo Farm, which I'm so impressed. In fact, I'm very sure and certain that you're going to change a lot in Tororo County.
Chairman of MK Youth Initiative, Patrick Okiru, states that residents of Tororo North County have adopted agriculture as a means of eliminating poverty in the country.
Government have tried, and we are sure that they are still trying. But we cannot kill ourselves simply because we cannot sustain ourselves. So we need to embrace things.
At Zoe Farm, a 4-acre model demonstration farm owned by Nicholas Owino, Simon, a farmer, believes that encouraging young people to grow cashew nuts and other crops is the future of agriculture in their lives.
We need to set up, as possibly government, partners of different entities. They need to come and set up this kind of model farms in every area. In other, maybe every parish or village, if possible.
At Zoe Farm, they have equipped youth with agriculture skills on the 4-acre model that was introduced by the president.
Empowerment in the agriculture extension is low, whereby now PDM is given to the people, whereby now, as they are getting the money, somebody have diversion in the mind. Instead of you planting the tomatoes you requested for the loan of PDM, you will go ahead and you say, let me start selling nuts. I buy nuts and I slash. Which enterprise you don't have any skill.
MK Youth Initiative leaders promise to train the youth in agriculture skills.
MK, we are embarking so much on mindset change of the youth. We are telling them you can get money out of working. And working, we are not looking at the long-term crops, like the cashew nut, like the what. We are now looking at the short-term crops.
I would like to encourage the people of MK that this activity should not only end in certain places, but should circulate all over the world.
Okay, that's it.
Ugandans have been tasked to recognize the importance of coffee by adapting to it and ensuring value addition. This was during the annual National Coffee Research Symposium held here in Kampala.
Coffee is the lifeblood of Uganda's economy, and with this, President Museveni calls upon Ugandans to ensure value addition on coffee to earn more and create more employment opportunities. National Coffee Research Institute, NACORI, has organized the 2024 National Coffee Research Symposium to build connections that align coffee research with industry needs.
We used to know that coffee is a beverage for drinking, but that the Research Institute, that is NACORI, has proved that you can have beverages, beauty products, and other products for leisure industry. And the leisure industry are focusing on sports. What sports products can the institute do? Under dietary products, we can have coffee, yogurt, coffee cakes, coffee cookies, coffee bread, and other confectionaries.
The chairperson board Uganda Agribusiness Alliance, Victoria Sechitoleko, implored Ugandans to recognize and uptake coffee. She further cited the need for Uganda to establish a permanent location to be an expertise district for authentic coffee seedlings.
We should have areas which are specialized. If Mukono is in seedlings and Masaka is producing coffee for export, then we can put all our expertise there, we can put all our investment there, and if things go right, we know who to thank, but if things go wrong, we know where to go. But now everybody has turned themselves into a specialty coffee, seedlings coffee producer. That is how we have ended up with fake seedlings.
This symposium comes as an occurrence of the many activities gearing to the NACORI 10 years of existence come 8th August 2024.
Targets are that at the end of this exercise, we'll refine research and only solve challenges that are more critical to farmers and more critical to people processing or exporting coffee. Initially, we were not interacting with these categories, and probably the research we are doing was not as beneficial as it's going to be from now. As we mark 10 years of existence as a research institute, we are also developing a new coffee and cocoa research and development agenda.
Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Sports news now, and Uganda's chances of winning a medal in the 5,000 meters have derailed following the withdrawal of Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo. But that aside, the mood in the camp is still electric upon several successes. Janban Sentamo reports.
It has become official that Uganda will miss the services of Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo in the Paris 2024 Olympics 5,000 meters that start on Wednesday at the Stade de France.
The race that brought in that gold medal, which of course we all watched, was a very rigorous race, and it drained them so much. They needed more time to recover in order again to run well in 5,000 meters.
In their absence, Uganda will be represented by Oscar Chelimo, who is a high-profile runner and world bronze medalist in 2022.
So I'm very happy to be the part of the Ugandan athletes to be competing in 5,000 meters. So I'm well prepared. And I'm going also to do the best in the semi-finals, because what determines now is to qualify, and then after you'll now see how to plan it in the final. So,
but before Chelimo embarks on solo representation, Uganda has had a chance to add another medal when Peruth Chemtai goes in the 3,000 meters steeplechase final. Steeplechase will yet again be on the menu on Wednesday as soft-spoken Leonard Chemtai contests the men's final.
And I'm ready also to do something to make Uganda proud.
Tomorrow also is the return of 200-meter sensation Tarsis Orogot for semi-final heat 2.
I'm glad I was able to win my heat, and now it's to focus on the semi-final and make sure I'm ready and try to get a lane in the final.
For a place in a historic final, Orogot will face 8 other men including Kenneth Bednarek and Brian Levo for the 2 direct places. Meanwhile, Uganda's final batch of athletes for the Olympics is on the way to France. These include the 10,000 meters girls and the marathon teams headlined by Commonwealth and world champion Victor Kiplangat.
Golf news now, and ahead of the main Uganda Golf Open that starts later this month, Uganda Golf Club together with the Uganda Golf Union has today launched the 2024 Uganda Golf Club Ladies Open that will have female and male golfers from Uganda, Ghana, Tanzania and Kenya. The tournament, also the 6th edition, is expected to have amateur ranking points that will improve the participants' global standings. The event will be hosted at Uganda Golf Course in Chitante between the 16th and 18th of August 2024. Now, this year's edition is sponsored by NCBA Bank, Uganda Airlines, Wonders and Crown Beverages.
We do have some golfers as well. The golfers can join us for photo moments. World Handicap ranked. So you're going to have a lot of golfers coming here to play. The gross players, the amateurs, the ladies, we have confirmation from Kenya, from Tanzania, they're coming in next week. So the challenge is going to be real. And this time we have the professionals also going to play. So we have a pro kitty. So the professionals are going to start this game. This tournament will feature 3 divisions: the silver, bronze and subsidiary, and they will be played over 3 days. Some will play 2 days, 3 days, including the professionals.
The Uganda Ladies Golf Union has a mandate over the years to have these opens running. Because what the opens do is very simple. 1, it enhances the game of golf. 2, it validates our sponsors, because the sponsors need visibility as well as appetiture. And then 3, it attracts new lady golfers.
At each hole, whether it's the beginning or the end, someone has that wonderful feel around them and within them.
Partnering in terms of prize giving, the exciting prizes that we'll be giving out to the winners of the different.
And that brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 6th day of August 2024. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. But I will leave you with Justin Ainebiuna at the Weather Center in Entebbe with the latest weather forecast. Justin.
Once again, we bring you up our daily weather reports from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I'm Jasper Ainebiuna. In the morning, most parts of the country had sunny intervals together with a mixture of partly cloudy conditions, apart from the northern sector that was very active with light rains. And for the satellite captured, we have a ridge over South Africa that has pushed the rain belt further north of our country, and that's the reason the northern sector is receiving light rains. And for tomorrow's weather forecast, we are anticipating sunny intervals across central region. As we continue to the western parts of the country, we are anticipating sunny intervals across, apart from Masindi, where light rains will be expected. As we continue to the eastern stretch, we are anticipating to the eastern parts of the country, we are anticipating sunny intervals apart from Botaleja, where light rains will be expected, and also in Kumi light rains will be expected. For the northern parts of the country, in the morning we are anticipating light rains that are likely to prevail apart from a patch where sunny intervals will be expected. As we continue in the afternoon, we are anticipating Wakiso district to have light rains and temperatures will be around 28 degrees Celsius. As we continue to Luwelo, sunny intervals will be expected and temperatures will be around 29 degrees Celsius. Western parts of the country, in the afternoon, we are anticipating mid-western to have light rains and temperatures will be around 30 degrees Celsius, while around Mbara, sunny intervals will be expected and temperatures will be around 25 degrees Celsius. For the eastern parts of the country, in the afternoon, we are anticipating light rains apart from Busia, where temperatures will be around 29 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals. As we continue to the northern parts of the country, we are anticipating most regions to have light rains and temperatures will be around 28 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. For those that are likely to travel across the globe, we are anticipating Kigali to have partly cloudy conditions and temperatures will be around 30 degrees Celsius, while in Malaysia, we are anticipating light rains and temperatures will be around 34 degrees Celsius, while for Maputo, we are anticipating sunny intervals and temperatures will be around 27 degrees Celsius, and for Amsterdam, we are anticipating light rains and temperatures will be around 23 degrees Celsius. That's all from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. For more information, you can visit our website. Good evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uganda's 2024 population census confirmed the youthful demographic, with 48.47% under 14 years and 21.16% aged 15 to 24, making up 22.7% of the population. This week on Behind the Headlines, we explore the role of Uganda's youth in shaping the nation's future. The discussion will focus on their impact